Welcome to my Legendary Items Revamp Yellow Beorning guide. In this guide, we're going to look at the best LIs, the best traceries for the Healing Beorning. Starting off by looking at which items you should pick as a Beorning. The class item is pretty obvious, there's only one choice. You will go for the Beorning's Carving. When it comes to your main hand weapon, the only right choices, in my opinion, will be club or axe because of the Beorning racial trait. It gives you 5% bonus on club or axe damage. Now here comes the tricky part, in my opinion. Of course, you can go with the one-handed axe or one-handed club. There's also the two-handed axe or the two-handed club that do a bit more damage. This is kind of a pick and choose. If you go with a one-hander, you will have an offhand as well. At the moment, I've gone with a two-handed axe on my Beorning, because at the moment our stats are way overcapped because of the new revamp of the allies. But with Gundabad, there might be a case of going with a one-handed axe or one-handed club, as well as having an offhand for more stat gain. It's kind of pick and choose of your playstyle. Do you prefer having more stats? Or do you want the bear that has a two-hander and helps a bit with the DPS? I'm probably leaning slightly towards a two-hander in any case. But that's gonna have to be down to each player to decide. Moving on to the Heraldric traceries. There's really only two choices for a Healing Beorning. It's the Outgoing Healing Heraldry of the Bear or Outgoing Healing Heraldry of the Owl. The only difference between these two is the Might versus Will. So what's better than Might or Will for a Healing Beorning? All we need to do is look at the stats on the left. A Beorning from Might, you get 3 points of Tact Mastery, 3 points of Fist Mastery, 1 point of Crit Rating. You can kind of forget about the BPE, doesn't really matter for healing. Meanwhile, Will only gives 2 Tact Mastery as opposed to 3 from Might, and only 1 point of Tact Mitt. And we can kind of forget about the Evade and Resistance rating as well. So pretty much Will gives you 3 valuable points, in my opinion, per Will. Meanwhile, Might gives you at least 4 points of valuable stats with Crit and Tact Mastery. And Fist Mastery is not bad to increase your DPS a bit. So Might will give you 7 valuable stats per Might, while you only get 3 valuable points per Will. So Might is the clear winner. You should go with 2 Heraldry of the Bear for your healing allies. Looking at the Word of Power choices for Beorning, obviously like any class you have 5 slots for Word of Power. On the left, I've put, as usual, the base morale multiplier and the damage reduction ones. These might only come into play if you're doing high tier content, which has you taking a lot of damage. But for a pure healing build, we're not gonna think about these. Same goes for the range healing extension. Might be useful in some cases if you have to be far away from your tank. But in general, I think this is more likely to be a Morse option than a PvE option. We're not going to include this one. This leaves us with 6 choices. We need to eliminate 1 for our Healing Beorning. Starting from the right side, AoE healing and AoE critical healing. These are some of your strongest healings with your Bellow and your Maul. Must pick for any Beorning. AoE is definitely staying. That leaves us to healing over time versus single target healing. Both normal healing and criticals. And in my opinion, it's pretty straightforward here. Beorning don't really heal over time that much. They have some heal over time with Hearten and Recuperate and the encouraging Roar pot that you can put on your mark target. But just overall, your single target healing like your Nature's Mend and your Roar, they're just gonna hit really hard your main target, and you're gonna use those pretty often compared to the HOTS. So in my opinion, as a Beorning, single target healing and single target healing crit chance will stay. That means we have to choose between healing over time or healing over time crit rate and crit magnitude. And to me, I will always choose a higher crit chance over just pure raw healing. So for me, the healing over time criticals stays. And these are my 5 recommended Word of Power for healing Beorning. Now looking at the Word of Mastery traceries for Beorning, we have 12 slots to fill for the healing Beorning. I'm just going to be starting from top to bottom, look at all the traceries and see if I think they're valuable for the class. Starting at the top, we will look at Bear Form damage. This is one we will pick. Having some extra damage when you're in Bear Form will only help out to deal some DPS as a Beorning. Mainly thinking about your Bee Swarm in Bear Form. Roar damage we're not gonna take because we don't really need this for a healing Beorning. Execute damage is more of a red line tracery, we're gonna skip that one. Man form damage, same argument as bear form, you want to have that extra bit of damage while you're in your different forms. Bee swarm damage will be an obvious choice. Bee swarm will be one of your highest hitting skills. Bee swarm damage is a must pick. Rush evasion bonus and duration. Rush duration is always nice to have as a heal Beorning if you want to help out your fellowship getting some movement speed or yourself. Vicious claws damage. You use vicious claws kind of a lot sometimes as a healing Beorning. This one I'm going to keep on the sidelines for now as a viable option. Wrath refund chance. Every time you use a skill that costs Wrath, you have a chance to refund Wrath. We'll take this to help with our Wrath management. Vigilant Roar damage, we're not gonna take this. Not really useful in Yellow Line Beorning. Hearten Heal Strength, any healing traceries we're gonna pick without question. Increasing your Hearten Heal is a must pick. Turn the Tides damage, this ties into increasing your Nature's Vengeance damage. We don't really need this. Relentless Maul damage, obvious pick. Relentless Maul can hit pretty hard AoE and you would want that extra damage on it. Thunderous Roar cooldown, this is a blue line tracery that we're gonna ignore. Bond of Trust heal chance, must pick to help out your Bond of Trust procs as a Beorning. Vigilant Roar incoming healing is one that I'm gonna put as a viable option for now. Next up is Call to Wild melee damage bonus. This is a red line trait that we're not gonna pick. Chance for bonus Wrath from Slam. We're gonna put this as a viable option for now. Bee Swarm critical defense debuff. This is one that I will pick. To make your Bee Swarm even a little bit stronger, I want this as a healing Beorning. Thickened Hide, duration and tactical damage reduction is blue line. We're not gonna pick this. Recuperate heal pulses is a must pick. This is one you definitely want. More pulses on your recuperate will only be good for you. Nature's Bond cooldown is pretty good, reducing the cooldown on your Nature's Bond. And Beorning damage over time pulses is one that I will actually pick. For a Beorning, 4 more dot pulses. If you like trading into redline, you can get bleed damage on slash, and you can also turn your biting edge into a single attack with a bleed on it. This leaves us with the 12 that I'm personally using on the left. These 3 on the right have their uses. Vicious Claw damage. If you're marking a target with your bear mark and you have Raging Blow traded, we'll use Vicious Claw a lot, so that would increase the damage on Vicious Claw a bit. But personally, I prefer the ones on the left over Vicious Claw. Chance for bonus Wrath from Slam is fine. If you use Slam a lot as a healing Beorning, this is good for you, but personally I don't use it that often. I used to use it a lot, but no longer. And I don't really see what I would remove for this one. Vigilant Roar incoming healing can also be pretty good, getting some incoming healing each time you use your Vigilant Roar, but I don't really find it that useful compared to the other 12 traceries. So the 12 on my left are my recommended mastery traceries as a Beorning, with the 3 on the right being viable options if you want to remove one of these. And finally, we're going to take a look at the Word of Craft traceries. This one is pretty much a no-brainer. Ascendant Light is by far the best one for Beorning. Your 2 set will give 15% light type damage, which will increase your Bee Swarm damage. And you also get a 4 set with outgoing healing, putting this. The only one that comes close to this is Perfect Healing if you just want the pure outgoing healing stats. But Ascendant Light gives a lot of crit rating, 15% light type damage to your Bee Swarm, and 62k outgoing healing as your set bonus. In my opinion, this is a no-brainer for a healing Beorning, or Ascendant Light as your Word of Craft. If you follow my build, your allies should end up looking something like this. And that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching, hopefully it helped. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel, join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.